So the people who've stoked all of this up, the likes of Priti Patel and the Daily Mail and the Express and all these right-wing wankers, are now having to drag themselves back from the brink. They're now having to say, okay, we went a little bit too far there, lads. Let's drag it back a bit. Because apparently now they're pro-anti-fascists. So this is the front page of the Daily Mail today. And like you say, Priti Patel coming out pretty strongly against Nigel Farage. I think the reasonable right wing in this country have gone, actually, we kind of let the Brexit thing go to our heads. They had a bit of a Rumspringer situation where they went with fascism for a couple of years. And I think they're now having to realise, oh, shit, we can't really win elections that way. We need to drag it back a bit, you know?
Yeah, because like people overcooked the idea that Boris Johnson was this kind of real right wing of the Conservative Party, because he really wasn't. In fact, the reason why we have such high immigration at the moment is because Boris Johnson changed the rules to allow it. That's why we're in this position. But regardless of that, this attempt, really and truly, to rewrite history. The Daily Express also had a cover praising people going out on the streets to fight the fascists, right? To uniting communities against racism. And when you juxtapose this next to the years and 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 years of terror tactics, really and truly, in terms of stoking terror from the right-wing press in this country, chiefly the Express, the Mail, but also the Telegraph and the Sun and the Times and all of those people, where they have essentially tried to use migrants as a scapegoat with which to create a social movement that keeps people buying their papers over and over again. Because that's what this is really about. There are some ideologues within these papers who are pushing these specifically, the Telegraph chiefly being the most right-wing of these and the most sincere. But most of all, this has just been the cultivation of a target audience to sell papers and advertising space to. And so after all of this, first of all, to try and change face immediately and say that we're on the side of the people uniting against the thugs. How dare you? It's like the scene in Macbeth. Lady Macbeth standing over the sink, hands covered in blood. Oh, will the spots go away? Nah, mate, I'm sorry, Express. I'm sorry, Daily Mail. I'm sorry, Sun. I'm sorry, Rupert Murdoch. All the perfumes of Arabia will not clean your hands of the blood that it is now covered with. Now that the people who you've whipped up into a frenzy have decided to go on lynching sprees where they try and burn down hotels full of migrants that you were scapegoating. And on top of this, all of these media outlets, all of these politicians who for financial or for ideological, for political or for electoral gain have been scapegoating migrant communities, who've been scapegoating legitimate asylum seekers by calling them illegal immigrants when they're just irregular migrants who've claimed asylum, completely misnaming them for explicitly political reasons as well. Now all saying, oh, first of all, isn't it brilliant how the actual anti-fascists who you derided as being left-wing wacko weirdos or anti-Semites or trots before, isn't it great that they're on the streets? But on top of that, they're saying, oh, isn't it terrible how Elon Musk and social media and how Twitter has kicked up these people into a frenzy? Why won't Keir Starmer regulate Twitter and regulate Facebook for the misinformation? As if these people haven't been patient zero for misinformation, for whipping up a frenzy, for getting people angry, for scapegoating minorities, right? Social media may be the new vector by which people organise. Telegram might be the way that people will get together to be able to get into the groups that cause the instance that we've seen. The unbanning of Tommy Robinson on Twitter might have given him the platform to be able to spread this to, or to widen the appeal of the actual groups. But the mainstreaming of the opinions is directly coming from our politicians and from our media and from our think tanks and from our upper classes who are fundamentally Islamophobic and racist and also greedy capitalists as well. So for them to go after Twitter as if that is somehow the cause rather than the symptom is so nakedly self-interested. So nakedly self-interested, it makes me want to scream.
If there's one good thing to come out of these fascist riots, is that your reference game has gone crazy. Because you usually come in with like Simpsons references and now you're doing Macbeth. Fucking perfumes of Arabia. How'd you slip that one in there?
So I knew this would come up on stream, and so I was just like, I know exactly the cover of the video that I put up on YouTube. It's going to be that in one, I think, of the National Theatre put on a performance of Macbeth. I had Patrick Stewart in as well. And it's just this great picture of Lady Macbeth in front of the sink with her hands covered in blood. And I can just put like the tapestry of Express, Sun and Daily Mail headlines behind it.
Damn spot out, yeah.
Indeed.
Because she keeps hallucinating that the blood is still there. It's a symbol of guilt. She's feeling guilty. Sorry
Exactly.
if I've passed out Shakespeare too much for people. Do you have to do spoiler alerts on 400-year-old plays? I'm not sure you do.
And at the end of the day, right, this is what you're seeing from the media and the politicians and the people who are, as I said, patient zero of these problems. They can feel the guilt. They know they're to blame. And rather than accepting that they're to blame and apologizing and saying, I will do better, they're finding scapegoats, or they're pretending that they were never there. Scumbags. Well, absolute scum of the earth.
There are a couple of points to sort of pass out from what you were saying. Firstly, they want to regulate social media because it would help their dying brand of media. It's self-interest, if nothing else. The fact that the same papers who've derided and done so much to try and undermine the push towards Leveson 2, to try and stop their own papers from having to undergo similar legal scrutiny, and now are pushing that on social media, is interesting. The same bullshit lies that you can now see from the likes of Elon Musk or whoever have been published as reader pieces and thought pieces in the likes of the Telegraph and the Daily Mail for decades now. It's how we got Brexit. It's how we got Nigel Farage as an MP. It's how we got Priti Patel and Suella Braverman as Home Secretary, a position that neither of them should have been anywhere near. And again, and this is the point, right? They're trying to retcon history. Priti Patel was so evil in that role that she followed on from the Theresa May's hostile environment for migrants, and she was seen as going too far at that point. A lot of Tories didn't like that. They thought it was too harsh then. And now she wants to turn around and try and be the reasonable face of conservatism. No. They absolutely, like you say, I think the MacBeth reference is very good. I think they know that the blood is still there. They're just going to pretend otherwise. They're just going to pretend like my hands are clean on this. No, motherfucker, this is on you too.
Yep.
You don't get to stoke the fire and walk away.
Yeah, just scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing, but it won't. That spot will not out. Again, by trying to essentially blame social media for this as well. It's also very boomer. It's the kids these days and their phones. That's what's causing it. The fuck are you talking? You know, we had fucking cable street before most people had fucking radios. What are you talking about? Exactly. The mediums may change, but the ability for these people to organise themselves to do the heinous shit that they do will never go away. They will find other means if you shut down the means. You have to hit it ideologically. You have to hit it in the material conditions. You have to root out from source. You can't just stop people from organising, because when the BNP went away, it was replaced by UKIP. And when UKIP went away, it was replaced by the Brexit Party. And when the Brexit Party went away, it was replaced by Reform UK, and now it's this disparate group of people like the EDL and Patriotic Alternative, or whatever name that these people have it under. And I'm like, I'm sorry, whether or not Twitter is being unscrupulous with this shit, to be clear, it is. I don't think Elon Musk is innocent at all. In fact, I think he's incredibly guilty, by basically being a neo-Nazi at this point anyway.
Literally spreading the shite today, the absolutely ridiculous and false rumour that the government are going to set up concentration camps in the Falklands to process these people. What good would it do to fly people to the Falklands? How is that cheaper or quicker? FEMA camps, but on the other side of the world. What are you doing? Your conspiracies are even shitter than usual. Even
the social media networks, a lot of the time they just share articles and opinion pieces and viewpoints that have come from the top down. I've spent my entire time when covering these riots trying to be explicitly clear where this stuff comes from, and it does not come from the bottom up, it does come from the top down. It comes from the politicians and the think tanks and the people at GB News and all of those people who help spread this message. The vector that they use, whether it's YouTube or Twitter or whatever it is, or traditional media, it doesn't matter. And so by just saying, well, if there was no Twitter, our articles would be completely blameless on top of this, right? That's why they are trying to deflect so hard, because they know they are guilty, as you say. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like and leave a comment. That helps the video out in the algorithm. If you subscribe and ring the bell, it'll let you know when I go live. I stream every day on YouTube and Twitch. You can also follow all of my socials down in the description. And if you want to support me in a more financial manner, there's a join button for membership. It's just 99p to be a member on YouTube, as well as a Patreon, and there's some merch there as well. And hopefully I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.